Hi, everyone. Welcome to our coverage of the Gibbies as Dayton Moore joins me here in San Diego with a lot to accept. And we'll start with the first one, Executive of the Year. So, Dayton, congratulations first and foremost. Secondly, knowing that the voting process for the Gibbies is a little more broad than some other things, what's it mean to you to earn a Gibby for Executive of the Year?
Well, JP, it's a tremendous honor, obviously, and I accept this award on behalf of our entire organization and our scouting, our development people, certainly our leadership team that really do all the heavy lifting for our organization. But it's been proud because it was a long process for what we were trying to do in Kansas City, build something from within. And I'm just really fortunate that the Glass family, Dan and Dave specifically, supported us and gave us a long period of time to get this thing right.
All right, well, congratulations to you specifically for earning that Gibby and accepting on behalf of you and the organization. And now for others that have earned that you're here to accept for, let's start with we're going to get to Wade Davis as Setup Man of the Year and Greg Holland as Closer of the Year. We should probably talk about them a little bit together, even though they're both unique and talented in their own ways. But let's start with Wade, converted from being a starting pitcher, emerged as an absolute key part of that bullpen. What was it like for you as a GM to see that evolve?
Well, Wade's an unbelievable competitor, and we knew when we signed him in the trade, or traded for him rather, in the Will Myers deal, that he had a lot of talent, and he broke into the major leagues as a starting pitcher, was dominant as a reliever the second half of the season there in Tampa Bay, and so although we gave him an opportunity to start, we knew full well that he could transition to the back of the bullpen and be very dominant, and boy, he was, and we certainly wouldn't have been where we were without the efforts of Wade Davis.
Congratulations to Wade Davis on Setup Man of the Year, and right behind him, Closer of the Year, Greg Holland, who had 2 great seasons, but this season was exceptional. What was it like for you again as a GM to see that emergence, to see that absolute just shutdown power at the back end of that bullpen?
Well, Holly, another one, is a terrific competitor, and he was actually one of our first draft picks to make it to the major leagues, and he was benefited a great deal by having Joaquin Soria and Jonathan Broxton as models for him in the back end. But he's very tough-minded, he's very poised, and of course he's got a terrific arsenal to get hitters out multiple ways, and he's we wouldn't be certainly where we were without him as well.
The AL champion manager Ned Yost, as we discussed the Gibbies, we discussed the Royals season. Royals did well, Ned, and the Gibbies. Executive of the Year. Let's start with Executive of the Year, Dayton Moore. What's it like working with him, alongside him, seeing what he's done?
It's been an absolute pleasure to be with Dayton. Our relationship, for me as a manager, I just feel like the general manager-manager relationship has to be very honest and very open, and somebody that you really, really respect. And, I worked with Dayton in Atlanta, loved him when he was there on the scouting and player development side, and got the opportunity to come to Kansas City and work with him, and what a first-class guy. I thoroughly enjoy being around Dayton, working with Dayton. His leadership skills are unparalleled. He's just a tremendous communicator. The players love him. Everybody in the front office loves him, and it's just a real pleasure to work for him.
Postseason storyline, that wild card win over the A's and John Lester. Summarizing some of the moments, and you tell me which one meant the most to you or stood out. Down 4 runs in the 6th. The 5-run A's got in the 6th. Dyson steals 3rd in the bottom of the 9th. Top of the 12th, the A's get the 1, and then the bottom of the 12th, the triple. I sort of get through the highlights there. What was that like, managing, being a part of, watching, and just being a fan?
Well, first of all, going into that game, I had so much confidence in my guys. I just really felt like we were going to find a way to win that game. We jumped out, took the lead. Shields had pitched so well to that point, but was starting to get a little bit tired, and we had Yordano Ventura in the pen. Now, you got a kid that throws 100 miles an hour with his breaking ball and his changeup. Get us through the 6th inning. We can get to Herrera, we can get to Wade, we can get to Holly with the lead, and ended up getting a pitch up to Brandon Moss for a 3-run homer, and we brought Kelvin in after that and ended up giving up another run. But, after the 6th inning, our guys came in, and they had such a fire in their eyes and in their voices, and like they were so fired up. We're not losing this game. We're going to win this game. Let's go, boys. Get on, get over, get in. Here we go. And that gives you more confidence because they knew that, they were going to find a way to get on base and create havoc. And boy, did they. Hosmer's big triple after they scored the run was huge. Salvi's hit in the 13th inning, I think it was, to win the ball game was such a relief, because that game was probably the most pressure-packed game I think I've ever been involved in.
In a long career, and that's a pretty storied career. You say that is the one for you, huh?
Oh, absolutely. You know, going into that game, the whole postseason, that was the game where I was nervous. I wasn't nervous during the division series. I wasn't nervous during the league championship series, and I wasn't nervous during the World Series. But, you know, I felt it'd been 29 years since the Royals had been to the postseason. And if we went into a wild card game and lost, that didn't mean anything. You know, that wasn't really the playoffs for me. I wanted to get into a multi-game playoff. So I felt like we really needed to win this game to make our season count for something. So I was, of course, very nervous facing John Lester, a premier pitcher in the American League. But I just felt really, really good about our guys and that we were going to win that game. But it was definitely tension-filled.
Well, congratulations on a remarkable season, and congratulations to all the Royals on that, all those Gibbies.
Yep, those are great honors for those guys, and they're well-deserved.